Shalom, shalom. This is Brother Mark coming to you again. Out on the highway and the byway, bringing on this gospel of truth to edify the hopefully lack of Yahshua, the Israel, so-called blasphemy Americans and Latinos. To warn the two-thirds of our people of the impending judgment that the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai is going to bring upon Great Babylon, America. And it's always a pleasure to let Esau the Edomite, the so-called white man, know what you see in the background of me playing is your near future. Before we get started, I'd like to give all glory and honor to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakadash. Double honor to teachers, elders, and the boss of great millstone, likewise, brothers, putting the truth. Faithfully, fearlessly feeding the sheep and the brothers and sisters tuning in, Shalom. Now, I'm doing an indoor camp because of the air quality and the high wind. So after testing it out, basically, it wouldn't be beneficial to the listeners because you wouldn't be able to hear anything. The equipments are falling. And also you have poor air quality. So I hate being indoors for camp, but it's, you have to endure until the end. So that being said, okay, let's get right into it here. I do have something, as you can see the background, I have a virtual background playing. Okay, so the team is Esau. We're gonna talk about these crackers, okay, because it seems like many of our people, okay, don't want to accept who they are as Hebrew Israelite, the true biblical Hebrew Israelite, okay? People that are special to the Lord, Yahweh, Shema, Shai, who the word ignorantly called God and Jesus. They're content being at the bottom. They're content just, getting handouts. They're content with the crumbs, that was spoken in the parable with Lazarus and the rich man. However, men like myself and many others, okay, stand with the elders and the apostles and bishops and the priests and the other brothers out there. We have a king mentality, okay? We're not content just being men under the base of men, okay? Which is Esau, the so-called white man. This is the book of Proverbs 16, and starting with verse 3, it reads, "Commit thy works unto the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, and thy thoughts should be established." So our job is plain and simple. And what we constantly think about every day is, how do we serve the Lord in truth and sincerity? How do we please him? Are we even pleasing him? Okay. Continuing, it says, "The Lord Yahweh Shema Shai had made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil." So these wicked people, the Esau, the Edomite, the so-called white race, these people that are very proud, okay, the Lord has a special day for you, okay? And of course, it's not a 24-hour day, so to speak, okay? It's a time period in which you are going to go through some serious hell, okay? Your kingdom is going to fall, and you're going to go into basically slavery the same way we did, okay? The cup is going to be passed to you. Continue, says, "Everyone that is proud in heart is an abomination to the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai. Though hand join in hand, he shall not be unpunished." Now, you Jakes need to understand who's the proud. The proud is Esau, the Edomite, the so-called white man. Okay? Keep in mind that, he's been blessed, okay, by Isaac, who was Yahweh Shai, regenerated with the fatness of the earth and a great sword to achieve that fatness and all the wealth that he desired. And he has done marvelously with it, okay? I mean, the earth right now is in an all-time wicked state. Everything is polluted, everything is corrupt, and Esau, okay, when we're talking about the elites out there, we're not talking about you passive-aggressive, low-level crackers out there, okay? He's enjoying this. He's enjoying this. And you Jakes, because you're blinded by the God of this world, which is Esau, the so-called white man, you want to join hands with them. You come up against the prophets, you want to make short little videos, and especially you damn women who are out of order. But that's okay. I'm going to bring up a scripture what's going to take place with you women, or what's going to happen with you women, okay, that defy, okay, the man of the Lord, opening your big mouths where you shouldn't be and not getting an order. Okay, you think that this so-called white man is going to protect you? No, he's done with you. You are absolutely useless to him, and you are completely and utterly useless to us. So y'all in for a shock. We're getting back into it, okay? This man right now is at the pinnacle of his advancement. And of course, you haven't seen everything that they have created. We're going to see those coming up real soon. But they're about to bring in 6G. They're about to collapse this economy. The US dollar is about to collapse. When that collapse is going to collapse all the other currencies on this earth, because everything is tied to the petrodollar or the US dollar. Keep in mind, there's nothing these other nations can do unless the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai, has set them up in a position to come up against Esau. They can't do anything about it. So right now, even though you have, the United States is coming up against, Iran. They have ships out there in the South Atlantic, around South, what they call South America. They have one in the Mediterranean Sea, out in the Baltic Sea, out in the North Pacific, and also the South Pacific, in preparation for what they already know, is going to be World War III. It's going to take place, But in the meantime, our people are in the spirit of jollity, in the spirit of mirth, oh, it's just another bad times that we're having right now. Somehow, this man is going to come up with the answer to fix things. Not this time, Jake. Not this time. All right. And you have about a very short time to pull your head out of your ass, and get correct. When we come out here on highway to byway on this unicorn, whether we're standing out there on the street corners or whether we put up a video, on the YouTube or any of the other platforms, we're doing our duty and our job as commanded by the Mashiach, which is to feed his sheep, but we also to preach this gospel around the gospel to the ends of the earth. Because you are the tribes out there, that have benefited from our fall. You got a lot of hurting coming for you. So what you're seeing in the background here playing with Esau suffering, and this is an AI generated clip that I created. This is for all of you. But the main target and the main anger is towards Esau from the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai. Let's go to the book of Psalms 55 and 21. And this is why you Jakes them can't get right. Last night my neighbors they party until like 4 o'clock in the morning, and you can hear the thump, 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 thump. And I'm like, wow, but this is the mood that they're in. They are 3 o'clock, partying, thumping their music. 3 o'clock, I'm listening to I was watching the bishops out in Connecticut, their camp, getting edified, thinking about what I'm gonna bring out, in my camp. All right. But in the meantime, our people around there, man, they're lost in the sauce because they trust in oppression. This Psalm 55 and 21 reads, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Now, you saw Jesse Jackson, he just passed away. And I did a video yesterday, in case I don't know if you saw it or not, but I'll tell you about it. And the title of that video was, righteous resentment, not envy. So as a man of the Lord, we have a righteous resentment for Esau, stealing our identity, persecuting us and all those things, lying about us. We have bywords instead of what we really are. But we don't envy what he has because it's given to him. And what he has basically is peanuts in comparison to what we're going to have. But it was concerning Jesse Jackson, who passed away. He was one of the pioneers of the civil rights movement, which he saw them set up, that civil rights movement. And that basically was a head game, to how a set of people that are superior, to the people that are currently in rulership, to go there and constantly beg for mercy, beg constantly to be equal to a man that is the scripture describes as the base of man, the lowest. No integrity, no righteousness, no honor, nothing. We're that vessel that was created for honor. He's the vessel that's created for dishonor. Esau is the end of the world. We are the beginning. And you have a man like Jesse Jackson, out there. And with him marching him, the Al Sharptons, the Martin Luther King, and all the other ones going out there, have kept our people in a very blinded state because these men are considered leaders. Okay, they're in the forefront. They get television shows, they get interviews. They get to go meet dignitaries and people. Jakes them thinking that okay, somehow we're gonna sooner or later go through the glass ceiling. And of course, they put that Hamite, that faggot, Obama, as the great success. Okay, and we all fell for it. I fell for it. I fell for it. I thought it was a real deal. Even though I now voted a day in my life and I was now into politics. But when you're in the world in this flesh, you sometimes you follow the wrong set of leaders, you know. And decades ago, before I found out what I really was and who I should follow and who I should have as leaders. Okay. And you all know who those men are. Okay. You go to who I subscribe to. Every one of those brothers are a leader to me. All right. So there it is right there. Our Jakes, they believe in a smooth word. They think, oh, we should overcome, singing that kumbaya crap and we should overcome. Okay. The righteous is going to overcome the wicked through righteousness. Okay. And the blood of the Lamb, who is Yahushua, who's been slain. All right. That's the overcome we're gonna do. And as you see, as I play in the background, again, I don't hide my disdain or resentment or hatred for Edomite, the so-called white man, or these crackers. I don't. It's right there. I don't sugarcoat it. If YouTube was not taken down or flagging me, you would really see the creativity I got to bring it out of what I really think. Okay. So we don't buy into their world. Jake them, they're blinded by these doggone people, so they believe in the lies that comes with this man's mouth. All I hear is give, garbage. He's garbage, man. Okay, let's go to Amos 1, Psalm verse 11. Because Esau is a transgressor. Okay, it reads, thus said the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, for 3 transgression of Edom, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. From Genesis 27 to 41, when Esau said that he would, the day, when he done mourning for the father, he's going to slay his brother Jacob. He's been doing that. You don't have to kill thousands of us. I mean, that's coming. You best believe, Jake, that's coming. All right. These internment camps that they're building right now, simultaneously as they build, these data centers. Okay. To put Jakes in. Okay. These other tribes are going to be in it too, so don't worry about that. And so will the Edomites, but it's really meant for Jakes. And that's why they're starting to put Jakes in it right now, starting with the Northern Kingdom tribes, who's been lured over here. Again, the byword that has been labeled against the Northern Kingdom tribes, who are the so-called Latinos and Hispanics, has been that they're criminals, drug dealers, all those things. When in reality, we know who that is. Okay, the one that made the claims. All right, but they're setting it up. Okay, and so the sword is an economic sword. It could be the physical sword of them, shooting Jakes down in the streets, killing Jakes. Now we see some of the things we see how they're doing Jakes right now through social media, through this internet. Now, if any of you are old enough, okay, who grew up in the analog age, and I'm one of those people that grew up in the analog age, and you've seen the progression of technology. When we would complain about the cruelty of the sentries or the cops, nobody listened. Everybody just thought he was just making it up because there was no proof. Nowadays, everybody can pull out a cell phone. They could pull out, body cam if they have their own body cam. Those things like that. And so you now have proof and evidence. Okay, they're bragging about what they've done to other tribes and nations, and particularly us, okay, right now is working against them, okay? Because now we can go beyond what they were taught, what they were teaching in school. You get Edomites right now bringing up videos talking about the slave trade and the things that their ancestors committed, the horrific things against us. And they said in school that they were never taught that. They were taught basically slavery was just some, you know, tribes against each other in Africa and somehow they sold and, basically like we desired to go into slavery. And we know it's bigger than that. So we understand the horror, the horrificness of things. And the Lord Yahweh Shemashah allowed it. He allowed it. We pissed him off that much. And we got exactly what we deserve. And we're still going through affliction right now. There's not a brother in this ministry that doesn't have some type of affliction. You need a bad back, all kinds of issues. I can list it all up. All right. On top of the mental stress that you have on your head daily. And it comes in a whole lot of different forms. Because at the end of the day, we still have to walk amongst these people. And they piss you the hell off, man. They truly do. They truly do. All right. It says, but I will send a fire upon Teman, which will devour the palaces of Basra. Okay. And the Lord is not going to allow Esau to pass. Esau thinks he's going to pass. They think that they're going to bring out the 6G, bring out all the autonomous, machines like the what do you call those little planes that fly around there, the little spy things there. Okay, that fly over the place, miniature helicopter, miniature plane, drones. Yeah, they can bring those out. Okay, robots, you got some brothers who put up some videos concerning the robots, them, and how advanced they are. These robots are very advanced, very agile. Now, when you look at the typical Jake and the typical, well, anyone, any of the tribes, everyone's obese, but particularly amongst Jakes, so-called Latinos, Hispanic, and Native Americans and so-called Blacks, are incredibly out of shape, sedentary, how poor diet, don't exercise, nothing, men and women, and their children. So imagine when they send these little skinny, 150-pound robots that are agile, run on, miniature nuclear cells, just hunting you down, man. We got things like that coming. And this is why, Book of Daniel go into, Michael, the archangel, have to stand up for us, man. We don't stand up prayer without Yahweh Shai. I can say it, okay? And you have brothers in this who, have great survival skills, been through hell and back, and all of it. It makes no difference. Makes no difference. All right? Let's go to Tobit 4 and 21. Book of Tobit 4 and 21. Let's talk about, the shaming that you get here if you're not a part of the society. And one thing you have to understand is when you're in this, you're going to be alone. It's a lonely walk. You're not going to have anybody around you. You don't have anybody around you. And I'm not talking about like, other brothers in the ministry and all that stuff. I'm talking about like relatives and stuff like that and people that you knew before, and it's in to say that you cut off everybody, but they're not on the same wavelength as you, so to speak. They're just not. They see things differently. Okay? We constantly have in the back of our head, okay, I'm speaking for myself, okay, we've got the collapse, we've got Jacob's trouble, the MOTV is going to come, we know World War III is going to come right around that time. Okay? We know Great Babylon America is going to be invaded. We know there's going to be a lot of debt. Okay, and some people are going to get thrown in those internment camps. Others are going to get put to death, and others are going to be defenders. And we know this is going to happen. Okay, you remember that scripture? It says, and if the righteous scarcely be saved, how much more so the wicked? Okay, so those of us who will survive until the very end, which we all pray to Yahweh Shemashai to allow us to see the Mashiach return in great power and glory and do what he's got to do and then beam us up. We all desire that, but we know all of us are not gonna be gifted with that. You know, it says, "And fear not, my son, that we are made poor, for thou hast much wealth. If thou fear power and depart from all sins and do that which is pleasing in his sight, doing the work, keeping the commandments to the best of our ability." Man, do you have thoughts in your head of all kinds of stuff? Yeah, man, we still have that nigger in us in the background. Okay. We still have that. You have to, it has to be a righteous anger, not something that you're going to take into your hands now that you know who you are and who they are. Like, okay, now you know what? Let's just go ahead and go take them out. Because keep in mind, vengeance is whose? It's Yahweh's. So you've been wake up. You, me, other brothers have been woken up to do exactly what we're doing. Prophesy. That's it. And we prophesied about the demise of our oppressor, our enemy, Esau the Edomite, the so-called white man. No debate, no bullshit. Debate. What the hell wrong with you damn niggas, man? Okay, let's go into Proverbs 18 and 12. Okay, because Esau ain't only proud. You actually have poor, proud people. Okay, Jake's poor as hell, poor, but proud. Because they get that spirit of these Edomites on them. They get that spirit of these Edomites on them. They so want to be like their oppressor. This is Proverbs 18 and starting verse 12, and it reads, "Before destruction, heart of man is haughty, and before honor is humility." Okay, man, each and every one of us have been humbled. Okay, each and every one of us has been humbled. When you're in this, it means that the Lord humble you. Okay, the Lord humble you. You might have done some things to you where you were going in the direction of Christianity or some other things, and other things, you got warned in such different ways, or those things. So we're humble in spirit. But Esau, again, when we talk about Esau's hardy. Now, somebody looking at that clip in the background playing might be troubled by that and go, why do y'all so desire something like that? It's righteous desire for us to desire rulership. If there are kings, then there has to be subject or slaves or people who have to work and who have to be in order. And Esau, you Edomites, you so-called white people, you are those people, starting with your elites. Now, speaking of you, doggone peasant Edomites, because like one of the bishops that was talking about yesterday in their camp, they mentioned the fact that, you have these low-level Edomites, the everyday Edomites that you interact with or deal with on the job or whatever you see in the supermarket or whatever part way in life that you're taking. These are the ones that mainly did the persecution or did the dirty work. They're the ones that was hanging us, beating us. They're the ones that stop you or throw your resume in the garbage. They're the ones that terminate you from the jobs. Okay, they're the ones that basically in your way of even living a decent life. You gotta change your way of speaking your pardon. You can't speak with authority or walk with confidence because that offends them and they feel threatened. Well, those days are done. We're not going to speak soft to you. We're not going to walk so that your feelings isn't hurt or you don't feel threatened. You should fear us. Fear your future. You should fear what's coming, which is the Mashiach. I don't think you doggone people understand how horrible your captivity is going to be, what we are going to do to you. double. Except it's not going to be in wickedness, it's going to be in righteousness. You don't understand. We're not trimming our ways for you. We're not going to negotiate with you. We tell it exactly the way it is. It's raw and it's uncut. We're not here to appease your conscience or walk arm in arm with you. You're nothing. Okay? Let's go to 2nd Ezra 14, 17. At the end of the day, okay, the veil of protection that's on you, other tribes out there that follow. Okay, you so-called Asians, you so-called Africans, you so-called Middle Eastern, who have your own little settlement and little little cul-de-sac or whatever the hell it is you have here in Great Babylon, America. You haven't been boarded by law enforcement. You don't get shot down in the street. You don't get beat down. You don't get rejected for loans. You don't get, scrutinized for anything. Those days are coming to an end sooner than you think. It could be as soon as this year. You will know what it's like to get dragged out of a car by a doggone sentry and beat down and have your kids beat down. You will understand what it's like to not be able to sleep at night. Okay? Not without hearing bullets and bam, bam, people screaming. You will know what it's like to not have food to eat. You will know what it's like not to feel safe. All of you. Because once the elect has been sealed, that veil of protection, pursuant to Deuteronomy 30 and 7, which meaning you're going to get into the kingdom, but it's going to be on this side too. It's gone. Keep in mind, the Lord, right now, the job of the prophets is to go and spread his gospel. And then the angels will be sealing, okay, those that the Lord Yahweh Shemashah has chosen to be sealed. And once the elect has been sealed, judgment, he's going to cut those angels loose. None of you are safe from anything. Okay? And it's going to take place here in Great Babylon, America. Let's go into 2nd Ezra 16 and verse 17. And it reads, start verse 17, it reads, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? What days is the prophet Ezra talking about? He's talking about these days. Okay? He's talking about these days. He's talking about the days, he's talking about the days that we have, right? The days that we're in right now. All right? Which is basically a horror show. It says, behold, it says, the beginning of sorrows and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What should I do when these evils shall come? And we can tell you what we're going to do. Pray to Yahweh Shema Shai. That's what's important. You know the name. Okay? Yahweh, the Most High. Okay? And Yahweh Shai, the Son. We have to go through the Son to him. That's why we go Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. You need to know that. You're there screaming, sweet Jesus and all that. That ain't gonna work. Jesus can't do a damn thing for you, doggone Hebrew Israelites. And he ain't gonna do a damn thing for the heathens out there. Allah ain't gonna do a damn thing. Buddha ain't gonna do a damn thing. They have no power. It says, behold, famine and plague, tribulation, and anguish, or sent a scourges for amendment. But for all these things, they should not turn from the wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. The attitude that you have right now here in Great Babylon, America, and I'm talking about specifically for the Hispanic, Latinos, Native Americans, and so-called Blacks, is this. It's not happening to me, so I don't care. And that's it. They talk about, I think it was about 30 or 40% of the ICE Asians are actually Latinos and Hispanics. And they're grabbing and beating down behind the mask. They're grabbing and beating someone that looks just like them. They're going to do whatever it takes so that the white man could accept them as one of them. And they're going to do whatever it takes to have their place secure or safely in the bosom of the so-called white man. That's how pathetic our people are. You jakes that have the monkey suit on, you should be ashamed of yourself. And guess what? The Lord has got something for your ass, because see, at the end of the day, these Edomites, sooner or later, they'll stop talking. they'll realize that the so-called black man, black woman is not going to go there and march for their cause. And that's when they're going to grab arms up and go there and deal with it the way cavemen and cave women do. And you think they're going to respect the authority of a nigger in a monkey suit? You think they're going to respect the authority of a spick in a friggin' monkey suit, meaning in those uniforms, those cop uniforms or those agents uniform? You think they're gonna respect that? You think they're gonna bow down like Jake does to that? Nah. A lot of you niggas and spicks in those doggone uniform are gonna go in the spirit world very quick and very early on. When the Lord put the spirit in these crackers to rise up. Because they don't take oppression and they don't take falling down or take being low the way we do. See, the Lord put a spirit in us to. How do you think that we were on a doggone plantation and here we are, we doing all the hard labor, strong as doggone bulls, but some bony, pissy and piss and cracker can stand and beat you within an inch of your damn life. And we do nothing. Slaves were like 10 to 1. There was like 10 slaves or 10 of us to every one cracker on a doggone plantation. And we did nothing. We didn't try to escape, or only a few of us tried to escape. The movie Roots tell you what would happen when you try to escape. Because Jason will sell you out quick just to get an extra chicken leg, or an extra cornbread from the master's table. How is it that we just stood there, strong, way stronger than them, outnumber them, but just stood there and took it, watched them rape our women, rape our daughters, our son, and in some cases just rape us, and did nothing. That's because the Lord, Yahweh Shai, put that, brought us down low that we had no fight in us. We had to go through that. So the same he's going to do to you doggone, you Edomites, and you doggone other tribes that are here. Y'all are too scared to even stand up right now. Y'all want us to do it. Can you Negroes get up and go march? Because when it comes to your mouth, it's better. When you as a black man, when you're angry and you say things that are so-called racist like that, people just brush it off. The reason why they brush it off isn't because we have any power. It's because they know we don't have any power. We don't. But the power is in the scriptures. Because what we're doing is we have the ability to tell you what's coming to pass. That's our power. But we don't have any might in our hand. Y'all gonna know when we have the might in our hand. Believe me. See, I'm dramatizing it right in the back. Show me a military force that can take on that. Yeah, I thought so. So you can see here it says, behold, riches should be so good, cheap upon earth that they should think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Sword, famine, and great confusion. You know why you're confused? Because you don't believe. You're an unbeliever. You're trusting into oppression, but you're still seeing the works of this man. But you're confused because you trust in his words that are smooth like butter. And you don't, think about the fact that he has war in his heart. He has proven himself. Okay. And I'm looking at one of my other screens on my, one of my other screens. It says Ice buys huge Georgia warehouse of 128 million. Well, actually, they didn't say that. It says for $128 million amid billion-dollar expansion. I mean, you got to see the size of this thing. Why are they buying a warehouse like that? I'm going to go more into it because you're going to see where the gloves is going to come off and they're really going to show you their true colors, Jake. And that's when we know we in Jacob's trouble. Okay? It says, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy, and the dead shall be cast with us dung, and there should be no man to comfort them, for the earth should be wasted, and the city should be cast down. Earth. Because a lot of you don't understand that this is going to be judgment across this earth. It's not only going to be America impacted, it's not only going to be the Hebrew Israelite. Jacob's trouble is not only the Hebrew Israelite, it's going to be other tribes too. Okay, that's going to be impacted. So this is going to be a global thing. And these other tribes, these other nations believe that it's just going to be, oh, that's going to be an American thing. No, it's going to be a global thing. You're all wicked. Okay, let's go to Psalms 31, Psalm verse 18. This lying, this lying man, okay? He's a liar. Esau is a liar. He's a liar. Okay? It reads, let the lying lips be put to silence, which be grievous thing, proudly and contemptuously against the righteous. The Lord is going to silence his ass. And how he's going to do that? He's going to break that pride down. Everything he put his hands to do is just going to fail. He's going to have to contend with people that think like him, very violent, these Edomites. Okay? On top of the fact that Jake is going to have enough. What does it say about, is Judah Alliance wealth who rouse him up? Roughly paraphrased. And it's going to be a bad day in America today. The so-called black man is sick and tired of his situation. It's going to be a bad day. It's going to be a really, really bad day. Because Jason going to have that same mentality of what you Edomites have. They're going to say, fuck it. They're not going to care about life or living. So right now, you might have these guys pacified. You get the Mike Tyson pacified, the Snoop Dogg and the rest of them. We don't view them as anything more than just whatever, man. They're clowns. They're nothing. We understand that they've been taken by the God of this world. But even when they're not benefiting, Mike Tyson is still Mike Tyson. Okay? He might be an older man right now, but he's still Mike Tyson. Yeah. All right. Continuing on, it says, oh, how great is thy goodness, which thou hast laid up for them, that fear thee, which thou hast wrought for them, that trust in thee before the sons of men. Thou shalt hide them in the secret of thy presence from the pride of man. Thou shalt keep them secret in the pavilion from the strife of tongues. And this is why the true man of the Lord is not going to experience like what these phony guys who are debaters or think of themselves as so superiorly smart and intelligent, and you're not. You really are not. You're not accomplished. Okay, you're a joke. And the true man of the Lord, we're not going to do a dick measuring contest with you other fucking doggone dudes because you would lose any doggone race. And when I say dick, I'm not talking about the physical penis between your legs. I'm talking about accomplishment because a lot of these cats, they have a particular audience that follow them. And that audience is usually these knuckleheads that are insecure. Okay. And, basically a man pleasers and like to impress man. Okay. Well, we're not those type. I speak for myself personally. All right. Not man pleaser. Don't like to impress. Don't give two shits what you think. Okay. It's about the mission and the glorification of Yahweh Shemel Shai. All right. You have a job to do. You got time for bullshit, man. What a waste of energy. What a damn waste of energy. You can see what my desires is. You're looking at it in the background. That's why I made it. So there it is right there. Let's go into Ecclesiastes 26 and 22. Let's talk to you women for just a second. Because we always have to bring it up for you women and for you sisters that are trying to get in order. Well, keep going, keep trying to do it. All right. But we know many of these women, they're hardy and they're going to perish. Okay. The Lord is putting the spirit in men right now. And I have absolutely no feelings for you. Men don't give a crap about your pom-pom. Definitely don't want to deal with your doggone kids. And don't want to deal with you, period. You're on your own. Most men now, when they look at you, they see you as just a liability, garbage. And wonder like how much different kind of illness you have, STDs and stuff like that. Ecclesiastes 26 verse 22, it reads, a harlot should be accounted as a spittle, but a married woman is a tower against that to a husband. A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man, but a godly woman is given to him that feareth the Lord. So if you have a wicked bitch in your life, that's a judgment. Now, ain't no way to be perfect. But if you have a diabolical bitch in your life, chances are you might not be right yourself. Okay? You might not really be right yourself. It says a dishonest woman contempleth shame, but an honest woman will reverence her husband. A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog, but she that is shamefaced will fear the Lord. Okay. And you women are going to be forced into compliance because there's going to be just that much fear, okay, and tribulation that you will have no choice but to be in compliance. You will get with the program because you will be forced to get into the program. Let's jump up to Psalms 2. Book of Psalms 2. And starting with verse 1. Oh, I got it. Now, this is all we bring this out often, considering the fact that the elites, the people who know, they know how this is gonna play out for the most part. They do. They definitely know who we are. Okay. It says, why do the heat and rage and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord, Yahweh Shemashai, and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. They're bold. Okay. Imagine a created being that thinks that it can contend with its creator. That's astonishing. Okay, but it says, he that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, the Lord shall have them in derision. Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath and vex them in his sore displeasure. So he's going to deal with them very harshly to wrath, death, destruction. I mean, Esau's hardy. Any brother in this ministry can tell you, when you understand the power of Yahweh Shemashai, when you understand what the Mashiach can do, when you understand what the Most High can do, our greatest fear is to wake up one day and it's you no longer in the spirit. I mean, there's nothing else in life, really. I mean, and for you people out there in the world, you look and go, oh, what about house? What about cars and all that? Man, brothers already have that. That's not a desire. We want to be in rulership. We want Yahweh Shai find us worthy enough to give us a position in his kingdom, to be a ruler, to be a king. That crowning, that coronation, man, 144,000. Imagine getting your name called in Hebrew. And you get that crown placed in your head. Whatever rank you are, it doesn't matter. Because think about it. You can be 144,000 ruling government on an earth that endures forever, where the population is going to be in the tens of billions. Okay? Unexplored land. I mean, resources that you can't even begin to comprehend that you had no clues on this earth because it's doggone pseudoscience pursuing moronic caveman. Don't have a clue. He's incredibly limited. Okay? Not impressed. All right? Not impressed with the so-called white man. You are not impressing. We're not impressed with you. at all. Let's go to Jeremiah. Let's go to Jeremiah 7. Start verse 8. It reads, Behold, ye trust in thine words that cannot profit. For you steal, murder, and commit adultery, and swear falsely, and burn incense unto Baal, and walk after other gods, whom ye know not. For the righteous, no. I mean, shit, you saw the videos of brothers putting up with these other nations, they're actually burning the statue of Baal. They're sick and tired of this doggone war, man. They're sick and tired of the so-called white man. They're sick and tired of America. And come and stand before me in this house, which is called by my name, and say, we are delivered to do all these abominations. No, this is and this is what this is IUIC them and the rest of these other camps out there. Basically, y'all might as well just come right out and be what y'all really are. Just truly just wicked. You're sellout. Every week there's a change in your doctrine. You get worse and worse and worse. Why don't you just go do what y'all should have just gone to Epstein Island, man. Nate, you should have been on Epstein Island. Maybe you were there. Y'all just should just go there. Just go do it. Just put the Bible down and just stop fronting. Y'all ain't no damn Israelites, man. Y'all ain't no Hebrew Israelites. Y'all are traitors. Y'all gonna be Hebrew Israelites in the kingdom. Y'all might as well just go do it. Stop fronting. But see, our people have a hybrid mindset. They kind of like separation by name only, but in reality, they don't want to separate. So great, I'm a Hebrew Israelite. Yeah, now I can go eat pork, do what Esau does. You know, yeah, we went through it for a while too. You thought that was how it was supposed to be, and then the Lord wake your ass up because He can read your heart. He knows there's more. You knew there was more to it than what than the clown show that they was putting on, man. What up, these dudes, man? Okay, this is First Timothy 4, and start verse 13. It reads, Till I come, give attendance to reading, to exhortation, to doctrine, neglect not the gift that is in thee, which was given thee by prophecy with the laying on the hands of the professory. So we have a job to do. Brothers like me, I know how to do. I'm pretty adept with, you know, computer stuff and all that stuff and technology. And yeah, but many of us we went to college, okay, and we're professionals in the world and all that other stuff for that. But we're not here to talk about our accomplishment in the world. It's not about glorifying us or what we were, or what we have, or what all that stuff. This is about Yahweh Shem Shai. But those skills that you gain in the world, the same way how you would go about it, leverage those skills for the benefit of Esau to make money off of you, which you would get like next to nothing for your efforts. You use it in the ministry. That's why you would have a guy, or you would have a brother like Azan, who makes short movie clips. Other brothers, they know about history, they know about herbs. Other brothers, they're very good at uh, deciphering news articles and other stuff like that. They go, not you can't be lazy in this. Other brothers like myself, we use a combination of, animation, clips, still pictures, whatever the case is like that to bring the message across because you have a diverse audience. People learn differently. They learn differently. Slovakia. They learn differently. So you bring those things. It says, This is a faithful saying and worthy of all exception. No, Salakia, it goes, where was I? It says, meditate upon these things, give thyself wholly to them, that thy profiting may appear to all. Take heed unto thyself and unto the doctrine, continue in them, for doing so, for in doing this, thou shalt save thyself and them that hear thee. So we can't be lazy, man. Not every video is going to be a hit, but you still have to do the work. You know, and yeah, there are days you don't have the spirit on you, man. There's days that you can't even think of a lesson like, okay, I already did that. Oh man, you watch a brother, he did that. He covered it up so well, so you're not gonna go and try to repeat it. You know, and we're dealing with a very hostile audience, a very hostile nation, and that nation is the Hebrew Israelites. You can see a video there with a dog wagging its tail, 2 million views, 10,000 comments. Brothers starting from the elder apostles all the way down. At best, getting a couple thousand views on something that could save your life. So that shows you where the mindset of people are. Okay? And if they do watch, they're not they're not taking it and making changes in their lives. They don't desire to contribute. Instead, they want to balk, come up against it. So we're dealing with a very, very hostile audience. And I respect all you brothers out there. If you got one thumbs up, chances are I probably gave you that thumbs up, shared your video on another platform. I'm talking about the brothers that have like less than 5 views, 0 views, 1 view, and you keep going. You get a few views, 1 or 2 views, or no views for video after video, and you keep going. That is a strength. That I have to respect you. I have to give that respect to you. That's endurance. And we're tested for endurance in a whole lot of different ways. It ain't only about personal life where you might be overwhelmed with death, or you have no friends or no family, or you've been outcast by your friends or outcast by your families. You have no family. There's no holiday that you have families around you. Nothing. Or somehow you're just not the type of person that people like to be around, or you can't keep a friend. And it's just the way it is. That's something you have to endure. It could be other things, sickness. It could be other things. It also could be you don't get views for your videos, for your effort, and that could be a burden on you. Like, oh, it plays with your mind, and this is why we can't come into this with vanity for that reason. And that's why the roughly paraphrasing, and Yahweh said what? If the world love you, if you're a part of the world will love its own. That's the reason why people could put up ridiculous talking on their ass. Just sit down and talk on your ass on a video. Just do a 10-minute video experiment if you want to see just how people are. Just do a 10-minute experimental video and talk on your ass, and you see the views will be in the tens of thousands. Because people like to hear shit with nothing to back it up with. Just some nigga sitting down there in his car or behind a desk or whatever the hell it is, behind a microphone, just talking shit. That's why the Breakfast Club and all these other things, people like to watch, people like drama. Well, you know who likes drama? The Lord Yahweh, he likes drama too. And he's gonna give you people drama. All right, you're gonna get drama, but not the kind of drama that you are going to like. Let's go into what else we can go into now? Let's go to Isaiah 13. This is Isaiah 13 and starting verse 13. It reads, therefore I will shake the heavens and the earth shall move out of a place in the wrath of the Lord of hosts, Yahweh Shemash, in the day of his fierce anger, and it should be as a chase roe, and as a sheep that no man take it up, they shall every man turn to his own people and flee, everyone in his own land. Everyone that is found should be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. When the Lord brings his judgment on Esau, and Esau is just scattered, running, horrible, terrified, you're still going to have Jakes. You're still going to have these other tribes still want to join on to them. Because, again, you all have the mentality of Saber the Cracker. You have a Saber Cracker mentality. Yes, this man, he wouldn't piss on you if he was on fire. But you want to save him. And it says right there, it says, everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. So if you're joined unto them, guess what? That judgment that was meant for them is now going to come on to you. And it says, their children also should be dashed into pieces before their eyes, their houses should be spoiled, and their wives raped. It says ravished here, but that word is raped. Just what they did to us. This is what's going to happen to them. Children dashed to pieces. The Lord don't have a respected person. You people don't understand or comprehend. There are going to be a lot of children put into the spirit world. Their bodies all over the place. Look, if you look what's happening to all those children that were part of the Epstein thing there where they got eaten, rape, all the things that they did with those kids on that island and where the hell they have them. That's a judgment from the Lord Yahweh Shemashai. And you have Jakes and Edomites alike and other tribes alike kidnapped out of school, kidnapped out of walk, kidnapped and subjected to sex slaves or human trafficking, what they call it. And that's the Lord Yahweh Shemashai doing it. We went through it. What the hell do you think the Atlantic slave trade was about? They've been doing it for hundreds of years, man. They've perfected it. Okay, we went through it, every single one of us. But that's the Lord Yahweh Shemashai giving that judgment to those individuals. All right. It says, behold, I will stir up the means against them, which shall not regard silver as for gold. They should not delight in it. So there can be no negotiation with the Russians and their allies. Their bows also should dash young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes should not spare children. Again, you people can't begin to comprehend that you're no good, worthless ass, disrespectful sons and daughters are going to be subject to death. You can't even comprehend that. These children, these kids will walk into you, bump into you, won't say, excuse me. No respect, no manners. But these same people, they don't train their children up to be in the right way. But they will expect you to take a bullet for their children. You don't know their children worth shit. They'll expect you you take your last bread or your last meal and give it to their children. Oh, my child hasn't eaten. I don't fucking care. Let me say that again. I do not fucking care. When we see children die in the streets of America and across this earth, that's a judgment from the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai. But let's talk about Great Babylon, America. Nobody perish innocent. The Lord is going to slay old and young. In fact, let's go into that. I wasn't going to bring that out, but now that that's here, let me go bring that up. Okay. But this seemed to be one of those things that y'all seem to think that the Lord Yahweh Shemashai give a crap. He can regenerate you the next day. And all children now, babies are is a small wicked ass, evil wicked ass spirit coming for judgment, and just in that capacity. The Lord doesn't give a crap. All right. This is Ezekiel Let's start off with verse 4. It says, and the Lord Yahweh Shemashai said unto them, go to the midst of the city, to the midst of Jerusalem. Okay. This is a man clothed in linen, and who had a writer's inkhorn at his side. It says, to the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the man that sigh and that cry for all the abomination that is done in the midst thereof. So that's us. We create the posts and the signs. We put the videos up. We put the media up. We go into Esau's history and the history that and the lies. We expose his lies, expose him for what he really is. We see what he's done to us and what he's doing to these other tribes. And we expose him. We're the one that's sighing and crying. Okay? It says, and to the others he said, in my hearing, go ye after them through the city and smite, let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. So when the time comes, there's not going to be pity because you're young or because you're a baby or whatever the case is like that. It says, slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, will come not near any man that is whom is the mark and begin at my sanctuary. Okay? So there's going to be a tawah, basically an exemption. Okay? An exemption, not to be put to death. Roughly paraphrasing the book of Psalm goes into that, talking about, 1,000 should fall on the right, 1,000 on the left, but none should come nigh to thee or thy dwelling. We actually are going to be, Lord willing, unscathed to some horrific judgments that's going to be coming. And you can think of all kinds of things. Pilot might commit suicide on a jumbo jet or commercial airline and crash the plane into a neighborhood, not only wiping out the people on the plane, but wiping out the people on the ground. It might be right up. It might be the house right next to you got wiped out, but yours doesn't get wiped out. Animals coming, rats biting people, giving them plague, animals attacking people with rabies. And if you get rabies, you're dead pretty much within less than 4 or 5 days. If you're bitten by one of these animals with rabies, you're dead within 4 or 5 days. So think about that. There's so many ways that the Lord Yahweh Shemashai is going to bring death. And all of this, at the end of the day, is going to accumulate in Esau the Edomite, the so-called white man, going into hardcore, brutal slavery. Let's close out here. Let's go. Let's bring out something that I love to bring out. Let's start off with this one first. The one where he that leadeth into captivity. This is Revelation 13:10. It goes, where he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killed with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the fate of the saints. And we are patiently waiting for the Lord Yahweh Shemashai to do just that. Kill this man with the sword, have them go up against each other, the Egyptians against the Egyptians. Okay. And he's all going into captivity. In fact, let's go into Jeremiah 16:16. And let's take a look at that. I love this. These are some of the best scriptures that I like. It says, behold, I will send for many fishes, said the Lord Yahweh Shemashai, and they shall fish them, and after will I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rock. Now we know Esau was going to be in the holes of the rock or down in those silos or what they call those bunkers, hiding from Yahushua when he returns. Because you're not going to have the kings of this earth do not, contrary to what Esau put in his movies, they're not leading the charge against Yahushua. They can be on the ground. And their generals or whatever the case is, the soldiers are going to go up against Yahushai, and they're going to be in the middle of a war when they go up against Yahushai. Okay, and he's just going to destroy them utterly, quickly, turn them into dust powder. I actually did an animation with AI showing how that would possibly look. Of course, it's going to be much more horrible, but it was the best I could do with the prompt. But that being said, all of these things that the so-called white man is going to experience, he's going to experience hell, he's going to experience judgment. The things that he's trying to bring up is not going to work. In fact, let's go to Job 5. I'm going to close out with this. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about this for a second. This is Job 5 and sorry, verse 12. Let's go to verse 12. And we might even go up before that. Okay, it says, he disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the fraud is carried headlong. Okay, so they're going to try to bring out the New World Order. That's not going to work. Look at it right now. They're focusing on these concentration camps for Jakes, which they're going to double also as concentration camps for you Edomites and you other tribes that are here. Beat downs and getting falsely accused and stuff is going to be a new thing. And you're going to have these podcasters, these newscasters, these prominent Edomites that are well known on YouTube and these other platforms. They're going to be grabbed the hell up. They're going to be considered enemies of the state. And they're going to be grabbed up. But they're not going to see it in the righteousness of how we are going to see it. When we get grabbed up, we're going to go, okay, this is what the Lord Yahweh is going to put me through. And in some cases, some of us are going to escape. Okay, you'll be faithful until death. You can be cast in the presence for 10 days, which is a particular period. Not necessarily 10 days. But we understand that's what we have to go through. Okay, it's a rite of passage. These other people are not going to understand that. They're not going to understand that. Okay, you're going to have Edomites who are going to attempt to rescue their family members out of these internment camps. Okay? It's going to be bad, Jake. But again, this is about Esau and what we always like to preach against Esau, because our duty and our job is to testify against Mount Seir. Let them know the Lord is angry. He's against you. He's going to destroy your kingdom. Okay? For your hatred and bloodshedding of the children of Israel. And you will go into a very, very brutal, hardcore slavery. Incomprehensible how terrible it's going to be. And you deserve every bit of it. And Lord willing, it comes very soon for you. Because we give an all glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kadash. Shalom to the whole for the back out there.